Hey guys, Blessing here, and how are you all doing? Nice to be back here. So last night I was live on YouTube and I think some of you missed that video. However, just see this one as a continuation of that one that we did on YouTube last night. So Korra Obidi, in her usual manner, has started to drag her ex-husband Justin Dean. She did another video after that video I did last night where she started to call him names. She said he is a shameless excuse of a father because she lost a lawsuit that she filed against him. Mrs. Sue Korra Obidi is suing now. She is now the official Mrs. Sue, suing and suing and suing. I'm just going to file another one. I will keep filing. Mrs. Sue, it's not about filing. It's about winning. Because what's the need of filing when you do not have a strong case? This girl wants to drag that man to court. And look, by all means, if you feel like you deserve justice, you can drag anybody. You can drag Mark Zuckerberg. You can drag the president of the US. You can drag anybody to court. But when you are at it, make sure you do it right. Because whatever is worth doing is worth doing well. If you're not going to give it your best shot, then shut up and stop disturbing people with noise. This girl was advised by her fans to pay $150 in order for Justin Dean to be served correctly. Guess what she said? She said no. She's going to find a way to serve him herself because she already paid $60 to file. And I was like, are you sure you even want to win this lawsuit you are filing for? Because the person you are filing against has a lawyer. That one is standing like a rock waiting for you to waste your time. So if you want to go into battle, why not do it right? We're not talking about $1,500. We're not talking about $15,000. We're talking $150 just to ensure that you're following the rule of law. But no, she's adamant. You're a cheapskate, and you still want to be a cheapskate when it comes to a legal matter like this. And then she started to talk about Justin Dean's lawyer. Oh, he has a very expensive lawyer. I know the lawyer is one of the most expensive in LA. That's a win for Justin. That alone is a win for him. And that is shame to Korra Obidi and the Horians. Because I do not personally understand how people can be so delusional, how people can just be deceiving themselves with propaganda. What Horians have built on in the last year and a half or two is trying to propagate and pass the message of downfall around Justin. He doesn't have money, he's broke, he's looking for Korra's money, he cannot travel, he cannot pay his bills. But now we can see that that is not reality. Korra Obidi herself is the one now informing her fans of how expensive Justin Dean's lawyer is. Justin Dean is not the one suing now. Mrs. Sue. But Justin Dean is spending money to protect himself. He is spending money to get justice. He is spending money to ensure that you do not abuse the legal system. He is spending money to teach you a lesson. He is spending money to make you see how stupid you actually are. And you are now behaving like a child, throwing tantrums. Oh, well, they threw this one out, so I'm just going to go again. I'm just going to do it again. What are your chances of winning? It's not about filing. You can file 10 times. And he might eventually have to continue to pay his lawyer to represent him. But at the end of the day, the fact that he keeps winning every single time that you file, that is a win. The psychological aspect of it, knowing that you keep losing to him, that must feel like torture for you, Korra Obidi. Because the money he spends, he can always recover it. He can always make that money again. But the battles that you have lost, they are gone. And you just end up torturing not only yourself, but also those idiots that flock around you calling themselves Horians. So I think going forward, those puppies who do videos every day talking about, oh, broke teen, he's broke. I think now they would have to start thinking about another nickname, because that name, broke teen, actually suits Korra Obidi better. Someone who wants to go to court but not willing to spend money. Someone who claims they would do anything for their children, but they are not willing to spend a dime to get it well done. Someone who just goes and files all in order to make content with. Because trust me, if you're doing it genuinely, you actually don't even need to bring it on social media. You just go into your war room and go for it and spend your last dime, if that is what it requires to get the justice that you think you deserve. But guess what? You're just catching cruise. You're just using this as content because you're not even willing to invest in it. And another thing that I noticed she keeps hammering about is, oh, I have been paying June's school fees for an entire year. I have been paying from July till December. Horror! I know the only thing you have in your head is how to open Yash, and that's all. But it's really embarrassing that a 30-something-year-old woman who we expect to have gone through at least elementary school does not know that July to December is not an entire year. That's just approximately half of a year. So stop ridiculing yourself and your fans. You sound very unserious, very inexperienced. It's quite embarrassing, honestly, because you're disgracing the Horians. Someone like you cannot be the leader of the pack. You cannot lead. You cannot even lead your own life. You cannot even lead yourself. How can you be leading puppies, making them lose direction? You cannot coordinate yourself. How can you coordinate people who do not have money for data? People who cannot sponsor themselves to go watch your concert. So why are they your fans? They make money on your name, but they are not willing to spend that money on you. So all of you are just fooling one another. Love one thing. So this one is going to beg money to be able to spend money on the other one. The other one is also going to beg money from this one to be able to spend the same money. So the money is circulating. It's circulating within the horse of the group. And Charlotte, the harlot, is the treasurer. Oh, how very appropriate. So at the end of the day, the Horians are not only puppies, but they are also beggars. They are not solid women, movers and shakers. Do we need to do this? Do we need to move? Do we need to fly? We go. The only person flying is Korra Obidi. She's the only one that is able to actually travel. And she is actually supposed to be the singing, dancing beggar. But the other puppies who do videos because of Korra Obidi, they are actually the sitting, talking beggars. Because all they do is sit down and talk and then beg money at the end of the day to be able to do anything back for Korra Obidi. Now, before I round off, I want to clear one thing here, because Korra Obidi is just an emotional manipulator. If you are not careful, she's going to use crocodile tears and fake illogical emotional talk to sweep you off balance. One of her arguments is, well, my children deserve to go to a good school. They have to get high quality education. Do you know how public schools in LA are? You send your children to a public school in LA and you see how they'll end up. And I was looking at this girl, and the only thing that came to my mind was, when you stand in front of the judge, it might shock you to know that the judge presiding over your case is a product of a public school. And that is where your stupidity and your ignorance is going to really shine through. Everybody does not have to agree with you. Everybody does not have to align and support the decisions you have chosen to make on your children. If you cannot afford it, you don't have to do it. If you cannot afford a private school, you don't have to send your children to a private school. If their father, who is also a born American, believes that a public school could serve the same purpose. Do you know how many presidents, prime ministers, astronauts, professionals in general attended nothing but public schools? You can send your children to the best and the most expensive private schools in the world, and they can still come out and be nothing. Let that sink into that shell you have on top of your neck. And we are talking about $1,750 per month for a child that has not even reached primary school age. $1,750 in 1 month for what? Korra Obidi. Especially when there are other alternatives. But that's the problem with Korra. She is very irrational, very inconsiderate, very unreasonable. That is why she is the one miserable today. I saw a video Justin Dean did last night, and he was looking very calm, without stress. But Korra Obidi is the one frustrated because she doesn't even have her life put together. So I'm just going to round off this video, and to end it, I'm just going to say, we are here waiting for the results. Continue filing. We are here when it happens again. You will still come and use your mouth to tell us how you have failed again. And before I say goodbye, let me still leave the Horians with the final question. So where is the grace they always talk about? Oh, Korra Obidi is a child of grace. She now has 7.8 million. Oh, she's such a child of grace. She now has 7.9. Oh, child of grace. But when it comes to winning, what matters? The grace develops legs and starts to run away. You people are ridiculous. You all need to learn what real victory is. Immaturity is the biggest problem Korra Obidi and the little girls running after her are dealing with. I want to say thank you all for watching this video. Go ahead and share it, like it if you enjoyed it. Also follow this page if you haven't already. I remain Blessing Njoh, the analyst, and I will catch you all on my next one.